Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. We saw an absolutely historical and unprecedented performance from Bam Adebayo a few nights ago. Round of applause. I would have made this video sooner and gave my immediate reaction, but I really wanted to let things simmer a little bit and see the reactions from other people and the discourse that would follow this. And my opinion has not changed, from when he scored it to when I'm recording this. It was truly unbelievable. It was a once in a, life, I don't want to say, once in a lifetime performance. It was absolutely amazing. He passed Kobe for the second most points scored in a single game. He is only behind Wilt Chamberlain. The performance was just unbelievable. I could spend this entire video just glazing Bam, but I want to get into a few things that I saw that kind of rubbed me the wrong way when it came to the reactions. And real quick before I get into all these reactions, I want to say this Heat team that they rolled out to play with Bam was not good. I think that's the portion that's going to get looked past when people, look purely at the stats. I think it's not going to be talked about how little help he had that night. They brought out a rotation without Tyler Hero. There was no Khalil Ware. There was no Norman Powell. And there was no Andrew Wiggins. So it was the Bam show. It had to be the Bam show for them to win this game. It just had to be. Maybe not to this degree, but it needed to be the Bam show for them to win. And I don't think that's going to transcend time like it should. I think it's going to be, how many free throws he shot, how many shots he missed. I don't think it's be talked about that he had to shoot the ball this much for them to win the game. And I mean no disrespect to everyone that got, put out there with Bam. There was a guy who played 26 minutes for the Heat, and his name was Myron Gardner. I would pay anybody $20 if they could tell me where he went to college. Never even heard of him before, but he played 26 minutes the other night. So I think that puts into terms just how bad that Heat team that got rolled out there was. Bam did end up playing 42 minutes. He was 20 for 43, and he was 36 from 43 from the free throw line. The amount of stamina that takes to take 43 shots in an NBA game is utterly absurd. That's just frankly ridiculous. And to make 20 of them, he missed a ton, but who cares? Because that's like, he not only shot 43 free throws, he made 36 of them. And then he also took, like I said, 43 shots. I don't know if I could I don't know anybody outside of the NBA who could make 36 free throws after playing 42 minutes. Now, obviously, it was stretched out throughout the game, but you still have to make those free throws while tired. So that is unbelievably impressive. Bam was amazing. I've seen a ton of discourse about everything, and let's get into that right now. This is the meat and potatoes of the video. Firstly, I want to discuss the people that didn't anger me. Some of these reactions did upset me because I'm like, why are what is the point of hating on that amazing performance? But I want to start with I was listening to numbers on the board. I'd made this script last night, and I was listening to numbers on the board this morning. And Pierre, one of the hosts, had brought up something super interesting. And he said he loved Bam's performance, but he didn't enjoy the last 3 minutes or so of the fourth quarter because of the unprofessionalism of the Heat and Eric Spoelstra. They were up 20 and they were fouling and missing free throws to try to get Bam more possessions. I disagree with him on this because I believe that this shows the human side of the game. And I think that's something that gets lost when we speak on professional athletes, that they're humans they're humans as well. Their decisions are human decisions, right? And I think that is so important for us to remember because they made that decision. It wasn't the ethical thing or the professional thing to do. But I loved the last 3 minutes because it showed how much love and respect that the Miami Heat have for their guy, Bam Adebayo. So I think that part's gonna, I think that part isn't spoken about the human aspect of his teammates and how unselfish they were to try to get him to that record. They saw it within reach and were like, we're gonna do everything we can to get our guy to this record, and it's gonna happen. We're gonna do everything we can. So I'm not saying Pierre's wrong for his opinion. That's not what I'm saying at all. I like I liked the last 3 minutes because of the human aspect that was shown. And that's where I would disagree with him on that. The ones that did upset me, though, however, and they're frankly disrespectful to Bam, was specifically from players and ESPN analysts, sure, we'll call them analysts, and current players themselves. I want to start with Robert Horry. He did say, I don't want to take anything away from Bam. So he said 43 shots, 43 free throws. I saw some highlights, 83 points is impressive, but it gets to a point where you have to respect the game. There were moments in this game it wasn't respected. But still, 83 points is a lot, and I appreciate the effort. It's going to go down as the second most in a game. I'm putting an asterisk by this one. Why? What is the reason for you saying that you need to put in asterisks by it? Because he shot a bunch of free throws? They couldn't stop him. If you take away all of his free throws, he still had 47 points. What do you expect the Heat and what do you expect the Wizards to do if you can't stop him? And now, yes, you could, like I said earlier, you could talk about the professionalism aspect where they could have subbed Bam out. But there is not a single person on the face of this planet, I promise you, that has ever played in organized sports that would go, I'm at 80 with 5 minutes left. Let me stop. Just let me stop. I don't want a record. I don't want to drop the second most points in the game. I don't feel like it. I'm done. I want to respect the game. Man, screw the game. You're on the verge of greatness. You're on the verge of being in the history books forever. Screw the game. And you want to put an asterisk by it just because he shot a bunch of free throws? Need I mind you again, there was nobody on that court with him. Bam didn't have any help a few nights ago. No one. And you want to be mad because he shot a bunch of free throws? Of course they're going to foul him. He had 47 points without the free throws. Don't let him make the shot. Make him miss the free throws. So you just want to complain. You're just... You played in the league. And you don't want to give people their credit when something amazing like this happens. You want to put an asterisk next to it? That's simply just disrespectful. It's unbelievably disrespectful to Bam. I disagree with everything I just read from Robert Horry. Every single word of it. This one is from a supposed ESPN analyst. I think I actually brought him up in a different video a while ago. Tim whatever. He doesn't get his name recognized. He's jacking up threes while triple teamed. It was honestly just awful, hideous, disgusting basketball down the stretch. I have never, ever, 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 ever want to hear about Heat culture, professionalism, and all of that crap again. This is blasphemous. It's genuinely just blasphemous. Let's break this down, okay? So the first sentence, he's jacking up threes while triple teamed. I would have to do my research on if he said this thing about Kobe's performance. And I'm not disrespecting Kobe at all when I say this. But Kobe did the exact same thing in his 81-point performance. He was just shooting things. And just because somebody passed him, you want to disrespect him? You want to disrespect Bam just because he scored more points than Kobe? Records are there to be broken. Nobody's going to forget Kobe just because Bam outscored him. That's never going to happen. So why is it so serious when Bam does it? But it was perfectly okay with Kobe doing it. Just because Bam's not as good as a shooter, this is just the worst take I think I've ever read in my life. Awful, hideous, and disgusting basketball. I believe he's talking about the missing free throws and fouling. Again, as I stated earlier, there's not a single person in the world that you ask them if they're going to stop shooting when they are that close to history, other than Jason Tatum, who would tell you yeah, I'm gonna stop. I don't want the record. I promise you, not a single person is ever gonna say that. He wouldn't even say that. Tim, whatever his name is, wouldn't even say that. This is just unbelievable and truly unprofessional. And stuff like this just genuinely angers me. It's just it's like these ESPN analysts don't know what they're talking about most of the time. Let's move on to the disrespectful quotes, at least how I took them, as slightly, disrespectful from current players themselves. Colin Gillespie said he doesn't really care. Why? Why wouldn't you care about history? Go do it yourself. This is something that everybody should bask in. And I want to say, there was a bunch of positive tweets from NBA players, like LeBron and Jalen Brunson and Kevin Durant. There's a bunch more. Those were just the ones that I know off the top of my head. But some of these were just, I don't understand what they were even going for. What's the point of this? What is saying I don't really care? What does that do for anybody? And it was like Kelly Oubre said, Embiid did it in 3 quarters. He had 70. That's not 83. And it was professional because he got taken out. It's not 83. You can't say Embiid did it in 3 quarters because he didn't. He didn't have 83. He had 70. So this is just all utterly ridiculous to me. There is so much disrespect that is following this performance, and it's utterly absurd. I disagree with it in its entirety. Just in its entirety. I think this is a performance that should be nothing but talked about in a positive light because it's good for the game. This is something that should just be spoken about till the end. Like, we witnessed something that we may never witness again. I think it's very possible that we will, but as of right now, we may never witness this again. And I'll leave you with this, continuing on that last point of we may never see this again. This puts him number 2 all time on the single game scoring list. That means that there's only one person in the history of the NBA that can claim they have outscored Bam Adebayo in an NBA game. If you believe that Wilt's 100-point game did not happen, that means the answer changes to 0. If you don't believe that Wilt's game happened, we may have just witnessed the single greatest scoring game in the history of the NBA. As always, thank you for watching. And at the end of the day, I'm just a guy with a microphone and an opinion. Peace out.